What's good, y'all? So I'm gonna actually show you guys how I record and make beats using my MicroKorg and my Akai MPC Live. So what I like to do, obviously get the two connected via MIDI. Got my MIDI cables here. I can go directly to the MIDI ins and outs, but what I like to do instead, for the sake of just having fewer connections in the back of the MPC, and then I can just disconnect and just go, I went and got this iRig 2, and I connect the MicroKorg to the MIDI ins and outs of the iRig 2, which converts that to USB, and then I just plug it into the USB input here. So then that way when I go into the MP, I select out of my MIDI inputs, I just go with, where's my iRig? Oh, I'm sorry, that's tracks. I went to the wrong spot right there. So, you got your MPC, A, B, and none. I just select the iRig. Okay, so that's the first, part, is just making sure that those are hooked up. And then I run my stereo ins and outs. Well, my stereo out, I should say, I'm sorry. I run my stereo out into the input on the MP. And then if I go to my audio track, oh Lord, there we go. So when I go to my audio track, it should show, here's my inputs right here. Still getting used to this MPC beta 3 on where everything's at. So my inputs are right here, so I'm selecting inputs 1 and 2. There it is. See it better in an angle without that glare. Okay, so there's my audio inputs right there. Okay, so that's pretty much how I have this hooked up, and then obviously I go out, to my mixer and to my speakers. Now, how I organize everything. The way I organize stuff is I create a MIDI channel as well as an audio channel. Okay. And then in audio channel, I need to make sure that my monitor is set for in order for me to be able to, because right now it's set for, so if I set it for auto, obviously I hear it, right? But if I switch, the moment I switch over here because I want to record MIDI, I don't hear nothing, right? So in order for me to hear what I'm playing so that I can record, I have to set my monitor to in, and then, so now I can go ahead and play whatever I want and record it into the MIDI. So the MIDI performance is in there. Now I've already recorded this joint right here, this track. Okay, so there's my MIDI track right there. Here's the audio track for that track. So everything that I'm playing in here, I want to be able to eventually record it into here. So the way I'm gonna go about doing that, since I've already played everything in, now I'm gonna record it. Now, I've already named it. I like to name my tracks in advance, so that way the audio files that are created after the fact will have that name and not just audio, whatever random number is in there, right? Okay. The other thing I like to do too, right now this is set up in a 4-bar loop. I like to extend that out a couple of bars. Okay, so then from there, now I'm going to go back into my MIDI, and then I'm going to go ahead and play it. Well, I'm sorry, let me take that back. So, all right, so it's in there, right? Now let's go ahead and record that audio. Make sure your record arm, your track is record arm. Okay. I'm hitting record, play start. All right, there, we got the audio, we captured it, right? That bass track. So the reason why I like to stretch out my bars a little bit is to be able to capture any audio tails. Now with this being the bass, you know, it's not there. The other thing is too, I don't want it to like loop back into what's already been recorded. So if I go back a couple of tracks, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like this is a good one right here, this synth track, right? So when I did this synth track, so see how it's looped right now? I wanted to make sure I captured the tail. So when I recorded it initially, I stretched out that loop to bar 8. Yep. Now if I play that back, you hear that tail? All right, the reason why I want that tail is so that way I can, you know, I can always utilize that tail as I'm, you know, when I'm going through and doing some editing and everything like that, you know, and I want it to stretch out on certain parts. Like say, for instance, if it's the last, it's not going to be looped, like the loop is going to end, then I can go ahead and bring that tail back. So that way it's not stopping abruptly. Make sense? So like I said, man, that's, you know, you guys, that's, you know, pretty much how I do my recording with my MIDI devices. If you notice these names and everything like that, using the MicroKorg, the MicroKorg doesn't have friendly names, right? So typically what I'll do is like this is synth, and then it says 2-B23, right? That's for me to remember, like, okay, well, what did I use? You know, what patch did I use? So the 2 represents this knob right here, the program select. So this is 1, 2. That's my second. Program, and then it's patch B. You know, well, I got it on 24 now. That was the bass track, but you see what I'm saying right here? B23. So it was actually B23. So if I were to go back to B23, see what I'm saying? There it is. So that's how, you know, I organize my tracks in order to be able to keep track of everything. I hope this is helpful. All right.